Are we ready for week 3?
Yeah, we are ready. But the daily engagement goes through second week and the third week and the fourth week. The goal is to have Google Sheet of people. The goal is to have Notify Me page. And by the fourth week, you already have an understanding of people who are using the product, how they are using the product. You have already communicate with them. So this is like this whole process. Setting up is the first week, but then going into daily engagement, the second week is just like surviving pretty much, where you are trying to understand what type of the content you should share, where you are connecting with people. You are just getting into these Google Sheets and putting them in place. You are dividing Google Sheets from Product Hunt to X as well. You are going back and forward. By the way, all of this can be done in like 3 hours. It's like 3 hours daily work, not more than that.
Yeah, I was about to ask, did you have a plan for that? Was that also structured? Like you start in the morning and then you do all of this and then you time slot it, then the time slot's over and then you move on to other stuff.
With Product Hunt, yes, but with Twitter was different because there was like a lot of things happening throughout the day. I knew that I need to post, but this engagement was much more important for me than the post itself. So I would post something and then I would start with engagement.
So
and then you would see immediate reaction also on your posts as well.
Yeah, so 24/7 is what I'm getting.
Yeah, but that didn't change. I'm still on Twitter 24/7.
And you probably were anyway, but just doing politics instead, which is a thing that I learned. Who am I doing this show with? I don't feel like I don't know you.
But trust me, I was a Robin. Wait, that's wrong thing to say.
You were a good politician.
I was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so keep doing this. After the first week, keep doing this pretty much until the launch happens. This never stops the engagement and yeah.
Yeah. Now we go back. So now we are already week before our Product Hunt launch. Essentially, you have your Google Sheets ready. You have connected with these people. You have engaged with these people. Your Notify Me page is at least at like 100 people. That should be your also goal. Do you want to have 100 people that press that Notify Me button? Do you want to have 500 people in your Google Sheets? That means that every day you need to find at least 20 people, which is not a lot.
What's a good goal in your
For me, I think I had like around 200 people on a Notify Me page. My Google Sheets, there was like probably around 700 people. I need to pull this out, but something like that.
But you did it. You overdid it.
I overdid it. I overdid it. But if I didn't, like the Product Hunt day in April when I launched, I had YC company launching with me. And then I had a huge other company launching with me. Imagine if I didn't do all of this.
Yeah. So it kind of paid off.
And it was Tuesday. It paid off brilliantly.
But we didn't talk about that, and which is also very interesting, is the day you launch.
Wait a minute. We are getting there. We are getting there.
I don't want to jump ahead. What I wanted to say is you had 200 on a Notify Me page, and I think that is pretty much unheard of, except if you're relaunching. I think maybe I've seen 100, and that's pretty good. And maybe the 100 are for a VC-backed company that actually did a marketing campaign for this. So you with 200 on the Notify page.
You know what I did?
Yeah, must be a high score for sure.
You know what I did? You remember at the beginning of conversation, we said that on Product Hunt, you have ability to see who is launching next. You have ability to see who is launching next, but you also have ability to see how many Notify Me people they have.
People, yes.
Yeah.
Persons.
But yes. So I knew exactly what my goal was. Like I knew, like if I saw a company or a product that is launching for the first time and they had 100 people, you know you need to be better than that. Don't care about if you see a company that has 1,000 Notify Me thingy, you know that that's their second launch. And that doesn't matter because the people that came for the first launch are already got on Product Hunt. And that's even better because they think that they have more people, but they actually have much less people because they didn't put an effort that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so exciting. So yeah, now we are a few days before the Product Hunt launch. You did
Wait.
your
So week three, you just do more of the same, or is there something special you do in week three?
you'd scale the content, you scale. We've started with one discussion on Product Hunt, but the more you do, the more you will realize how much you can share and how much you can pull and what is working the best. And you can just repeat these things. You can do multiple times who is launching in this week or who is launching in next week or the tips or
Yeah, you
who you
double down
are.
on what
Oh,
worked, basically.
exactly. And you do the same for Twitter. You find your voice pretty much. As I said, in the second week, you are just surviving and you are hating yourself and you hate marketing and you probably hate me. But somehow you find your voice. You find the content that works best for you. You find the content that works best for your audience as well. You share videos, you share blogs, you share Notify Me page. Really, really good content that you can do is asking people about your landing page. This is how I met Alex because she kept roasting my landing page and saying how bad it is. Then there was plenty people finding grammar mistakes. Oh, I wish I can pull these posts. And so these type of content you can always do. You can say share visuals for your Product Hunt launch where you can always link your Notify Me page. So I think we had Max that came just from he started sharing bunch of videos, funny videos, short videos, long videos, talking about the product, engaging with other people. I think that's also super important. So you do more and more and more. You kind of become addicted to this.
Yeah, and some products have very powerful demos where you can just show, for Clue, you can just show that it connects with various, what do you call it?
Apps.
Clouds, apps, yeah, Google Drive, Slack, whatever, and people immediately get hooked on that. The same with, so Max Blade, he launched a product called Desk Hub, which counts your GitHub contributions. And it was, a 5-second video just showing that you immediately make the connection. And video could be very powerful, but you don't need that much video. I think for it, let's talk about that. The first weeks that you didn't use much video. You maybe used some screen recordings, but was it mostly text or a combination of images?
It was mostly text and images.
Yeah. Having video becomes more important when you get close to the launch day, not when you, All right.
It depends. It depends from the person. If you feel comfortable with the video or whichever type of the content you feel more comfortable, it's totally fine. So you just keep on sharing and figuring out what content works the best. But in the same time, have fun. I had so much fun preparing for Product Hunt launch, and that's why it wasn't hard for me to do so. I was talking with people, engaging with people, going on the calls with different people. I made such a cool friendship with Dan. So you kind of start enjoying this process and it motivates you more and more to do these things. That's why it's important to have these few weeks. It's not only preparing for Product Hunt launch, but it's also forming yourself in the community, finding your own voice, figuring out the product, figuring out the copy, figuring out the visual, and you will be surprised how many people actually want to help you. And that's just so brilliant.
This is brilliant. I'll really interrupt you with something stupid. When we're gonna get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube, please subscribe. It's gonna be in about 2 years. We're gonna do a giveaway, and there will be a question asking people, how did Dan and Sandra get to know each other? And in this part of the video, I will explain, because it will be a pretty big giveaway. You will get an iPhone or something, right?
Exactly. I was going with the car, but
and they will have to. Well, it's just 1 million subscribers, Sandra. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It's not 1 billion subscribers. Anyway, so I met Sandra while she was talking about Clue, about the launch, and the fun fact is we were having this indies cooking something, and I think we really hit it off when we posted photos of pasta,
Mm.
and there was this relatively long thread of people making different types of pasta, and even this one guy, Vlad, who's gone now, I think, he had this raw pasta with some ketchup on top just to so when you said have fun,
Mm.
you were having fun meeting people, meeting me, and also building fans around the product. And I think
Mhm.
that's what I become towards the end of it. You know, you rode me into this. You tricked me. That's fine. I'll think of something. But towards the end of it, I was a fan. I was rooting for Clue. I was like, yeah,
Mm.
let's do it. I had it installed. I had the app. You know, I was excited. Let's do the launch. We were doing the launch together. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
It wasn't. Yeah. So
Exactly. And that's where the fun part is super important. That's where you connect with people, you have fun, everything is interesting. If you can, like Dan mentioned, this pasta, you take a picture of pasta, you put the date when you are launching, bam, done,
and you
you
did
have
this
done
so
it.
brilliantly. I don't think this was like some of your best marketing. I hope you can do this again because it was so good. But you know,
Yeah, but
let's
now
see.
I'm in the boring space of marketing.
Yeah, but you can
Launching
always do the
something.
Morning Maker Show newsletter. Okay, moving on to the next topic.
So now we are coming back to you are now in the fourth week. We go back to technicalities. You did all of this work in the previous week, so you have some kind of data analytics to figure out things, what's working, what's not working. Probably you have built, hopefully, at least some emails with that pop-up we made in the first week when we were doing the landing page. Now it's time to prepare for actual launch day. This is a fun part. Product Hunt launch day, I see it through three different phases. The first phase is when you just launch your product, you are out there somewhere, but you can't still see the number of upvotes. And while you cannot see the number of upvotes, Product Hunt does this thing where they are randomly putting products, so they are all pretty much visible. Your goal in this time, while there is no upvotes visible, is to make sure that you've posted everywhere, that you have messaged the people, that you have joined all the groups, that you have sent the messages out. Everything you have prepared, it's out and it's there. If you had, and I had I think I had at that point, as I said, like 700 people. So I divided all of these 700 people into three different groups. So I started immediately like messaging, talking, notifying these people that the product is out, because my goal was to be in top 5 places once the numbers were out.
Wait a second. Was this a week before, or are we
Now it's the
a
day
day
of the
before?
launch. This is
Is
the
the day
day
of
of the launch.
because I want to say something a week before.
Mm-hmm.
You need to prepare some posts throughout the day and some
Oh,
media because you have no time that day to do anything. You
yes.
will be typing from whatever it is, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., depending on your
Mm-hmm.
time zone,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're in the United States, midnight, throughout until you crash, until you
Mm-hmm.
cannot type anymore and you go to
Mm-hmm.
sleep. So it's going to be very intense, and you need to have your material prepared, whatever you need to with these lists, you need to have them ready to go so you can just press send. The content for your channels needs to be ready to be sent, and also prepare a few replies as
Mm-hmm.
well, because it's just some of them are, you know, some of them are interesting, their feedback, you actually need to reply to them, but a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
are good luck today, and then, you know, prepare some replies, don't spend time typing
Mm-hmm.
because you have a lot of stuff to do.
Yes.
That's one thing. The other thing is, before the launch, it's actually quite nice to just send a last post, like the night before, let's say, and you know, kind of be raw about it, I usually get pretty emotional because it's scary. So just write down what goes through your head. Be yourself
Mhm.
and write down how do you feel that night and put that notify me or their link to the launch in the comment, because the next morning when you wake up, before your posts kind of start get picked up by the algorithm, you'll have the one from the previous night that people can still see. And a lot of people, they maybe don't see that you're launching today, and you cannot do that many posts throughout the day because you can do a few and people do a few of them, but it's nice to have something before as well. So even though your latest content does not picked up, there's still something reminding people of the launch. That's one. Then the last thing, and then I'm gonna let you do your thing, Sandra. The last thing that is super important is for me to know what's going on with the app. And huge disclaimer: if Sentry, sponsor of the short, don't care about that. For me, launch day is scary because things could go wrong with the app. Sandra could focus on marketing and she had some other people looking into that. Your app will probably crash because you never had these many visits.
Mm.
And there will be some users complaining that things don't work. For my past 3 launches, I always had Sentry installed and I could actually see when something goes wrong before they can even yell at me. And
Mhm.
I had the tools that I need to debug. And you're gonna say, yeah, but that's gonna be fine. We're indie makers, we're shipping fast. But you would be surprised of the amount of people that didn't have payments working on launch day and thought,
Mm.
I'm not making any sales, what's going on, when their checkout was actually broken. So those are like some things that I personally do before the launch day. Do you prepare your content as well
Oh,
before?
yeah, 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 absolutely. Content, content for social media, messages as well, different type of the messages depending of the people, all the groups, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, wherever I've joined in these communities, different communities, everything is fully prepared before the product hunt launch day, before the launch day, because for the launch, then you have product hunt discussions as well. So that's one thing that you also need to post. So everywhere on all the channels that you worked in the previous weeks, you need to prepare content for that. If you have an email planning to be sent, you prepare also that, you schedule everything on time. As I said, there are these 3 phases. So you want to divide all the content and the channels into these 3 different phases. For the each phase, you know exactly what to do.